Time to start budgeting your stones. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we're going to do a bit of speculation and go over what I believe to be the most likely series of banners between now and the banner you should be saving the most for, the New Year's step-ups. This banner right over here. This is a big banner. It is the best value banner for most players, as it does guarantee a bunch of Dokkan Festival exclusives and at least 2 LRs if we follow the same pattern from last year. So we'll be going over the banners I think are most likely to appear between now and then, as well as a couple banners where I think you should dump some stones into while you continue to save for this banner. So let's go ahead and start with the first banner that's coming our way in just a few days, the Rising Dragon for Carnival. This is a double rates banner for the Int, Chilai, and Fizz Fascia. They are both General Pool Peppy Gal units, and if you saw my Should You Summon video the other day, hopefully you follow my recommendation and you do not summon on this banner when it comes, even if it is providing those teal coins that some people were speculating it might. So one down already that we shouldn't be summoning on, but right after that, we're gonna get tripped up, because by the 28th of October, we will see one of 2 banners, possibly the same banner. We're still unsure how this is going to play out, but we know that more than likely, Global Dokkan is going to get some kind of Halloween full of surprises Dokkan Festival. This is basically a Dokkan Festival that guarantees you some extra Kais when you summon, along with some of the featured SSR units that were released throughout the year. Now this year, this could be an extra special banner, since basically every SSR released on Global since February of last year, or of this year rather, are all 200% leads, with the exception of the Fizz Goku and STR Kid Buu, who wouldn't have been featured on this banner anyway. So this could be a really good banner if you missed any of those 200% leads. Now, I'll do my own specific Should You Summon, but just offhand, I would say no, because we still don't know what's happening with these guys. In the Global Producer Letter, we do know that these guys are getting a banner somewhere around the same time. We don't know if it's going to be the same banner as this Full of Surprises banner, or if they're going to be featured on some brand new banner by themselves, a la the Chilai and Fascia, which would be interesting. I doubt they'll do that, but they could. Or there's a secret Dokkan Festival exclusive that they're not telling us about here, because they did say they are going to be on the Dokkan Festival banner, but did not specifically say that these guys are Dokkan Festival exclusives. So this could be interesting. We don't know what's going to happen, so I can't give my full recommendation on what to do with these banners until we know more information. But know that this is something to consider, so you may want to put aside some stones if you got them to pull for these guys when they show up, because we don't know when they would come back, or, you know, because they're general pool units, possibly you may not even be able to pull them until later. So just keep that in mind. So 2 for 2 there of holding off on summoning. That brings us into most likely what is our November celebration, and that is the Dokkan Festival LR Vegeta and Trunks, the father-son Gallic Gun. This banner should be arriving on Global November 3rd if we follow last year's pattern. If we follow last year's pattern, we will see this banner, and it is the banner where basically all of the Tanabata LRs tend to show back up. So this year we will see the Tech Gogeta from last year, the Fizz Blue Boys from the year before, the Tech Go Bros, as well as some other featured Joint Forces SSR units, plus these guys. Now, these guys might get switched out, specifically the Tournament of Power ones, maybe more so the Blue Kaioken, because he was only added because of that special campaign that was going on. So it's possible we could see him swapped out, but other than that, most of these other guys are probably still going to remain on the banner. Now, if you've been playing for a while, this banner is probably pretty atrocious for you. Although if you missed the Tech Gogeta last year, this might be a good banner for you. So it's kind of 50-50 on whether or not you should summon. Once again, I will do a full breakdown of the banner in the Should You Summon, but know that this is coming and you may want to budget a couple of your stones for this. I would say for this banner, no more then I would say 200 to 300 stones should you spend on this banner because of what's coming after and the fact that the units featured on here will return for global very, very quickly on Saiyan Day, March 18th of the following year. This is the quickest turnaround for an LR, whereas JP has to wait multiple months for them to return. We've only got to wait a month or two. So this banner is definitely a good banner to kind of hold your stones off for. Immediately following this banner, after 2 weeks, by the 18th of November, we should likely get the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Summon event. Now, we don't know what's going to happen on this event. We don't know who's going to be on it yet. We should be finding out within a week or so when they do the live stream. But if we were to follow the trend, since we did get God Trunks and Meki Kabuto last year, it's likely we are to see the full power Super Saiyan 4s. Now, whether they are in the individual form or as Gogeta remains to be seen. But there's a good chance that this is the next set for us to see in Dragon Ball Heroes on Dokkan. So that's pretty exciting, and I would definitely say of all the banners coming up between now and the release of Dragon Ball Heroes, if Dragon Ball Heroes is your things, I would definitely save for this banner. Once again, budgeting enough stones that you can spend on here while saving yourself at least 600 stones to go through all 3 steps of the step up. That's just something to keep in mind. Now, moving on, the next banner after that should be the, where is it here? The Fused Zamas banner. Now, however, because on Global we are getting the Dragon Ball Heroes in place of a proper part 2 for the Vegeta and Trunks celebration, this banner is most likely to be moved to January, a la other thank you celebration units like the Jiren from 2 years ago and from last year, the Fizz Janemba. So good chance we'll see this guy pop back up at the end of January. That's the most likely place where he'll show up. Now, Fused Zamasu is an extremely powerful yellow coin LR, and if there was ever a yellow coin LR banner I were to tell you to summon on, this would be the one. This dude is insane, and it is a 3 featured LR with some pretty good units. This Tapion Minosha and the Int Goku Black are actually pretty darn good on the teams that can be run on. So definitely make sure you save a couple stones, especially if not to summon on this, at least to build up your yellow coins. With the fact that Global Dokkan and JP Dokkan are moving towards these teal Carnival Coin banners, it might be a good idea to start throwing multis, 1 multi, 2 multis maybe, at these yellow coin banners to stock up on some yellow coins, as they may be harder and harder to come by as we move forward in Dokkan. Now, that brings us to December. December's banner, you can see we're already hitting some crazy stuff. Like, that's a lot of banners in such a short amount of time, and that's why I'm telling you, like, make sure you budget your stones, because the next banner following the Heroes banner is most likely to be the Resurrection of F celebration. This is with the Int Exchange, Goku, and Vegeta from the Resurrection of F movie. It's a pretty solid banner. Definitely one that is worth summoning on. Again, like the others, I will do a full should you summon, but with the step-ups coming up for Global, I would say definitely budget your stones on this one. Do your discounts, nothing more for this banner when it comes up, because it's going to eat away at any summons you do. Whatever summons you do, make sure you leave yourself, like I said before, with 600 stones at least if you've got, or at least 200, right? If you're not at that 600 mark, 200 stones to do at least 1 rotation on the New Year's step up. Following this banner, we should see the legendary summon for the AGL Golden Frieza. Now, AGL Golden Frieza himself is insane, and if we are to follow trends and this guy does end up in the December time slot, there's a good chance this is going to be a double rates banner on Global, which is great for people who want to pick up Frieza, especially if you picked up the likes of like Cooler, or Metal Cooler. He's a great addition to those 200% teams. Problem is, his banner's kind of atrocious. It's actually really bad. Like, outside of the third form Frieza and picking up this AGL Frieza here, everything else on the banner is pretty darn bad. Obviously, it being a yellow coin and possibly double rates banner, you could pick up any of these unfeatured LRs on the list, which is pretty nice. It's still going to be pretty darn bad. So I can't say I give my full recommendation on this banner, even though Frieza is really good. He's definitely one of those I think you're better off just coining later on when he comes, despite the fact that he is that good. Which brings us to sort of the culmination of all of this, the New Year's step up. Again, as I said, as you look at each one of these banners, take a look and decide how to budget your stones. My recommendation is on each of these banners, no more than the discounts if they show up, or 200, maybe 150 stones if you really want to try for the unit. Otherwise, at this point, if you are a low-to-play or free-to-play player, you should be saving for this banner right here. If we follow trend and this banner is the same format as it was last year, you're looking at 5 steps, each of you guaranteeing something pretty good, with step 1 guaranteeing you a super extreme class category leader for only 20 stones, step 2 granting you 30 stones, a super extreme class leader, which slightly more recent from 2 years ago. Step 3 guaranteeing you a yellow coin LR, right? So if we scroll down, this was the breakdown for steps 1 and 2 last year, and then step 3 guaranteeing you an LR from this pool. Step 4 guaranteed you a recent LR, so basically everything from the current year in Dokkan up to, I think it was AGL Kid Gohan, which was October for global, so that's pretty good. And then the final step for 50 stones, guaranteeing you all of the LRs up to the 7, or actually after the 7 year, it went all the way up to the Int Goku Piccolo, the release of the AGL Gohan. So pretty good step up. So if we were to follow the same trend for this year, the guaranteed LR step at the very end, right? If you got all 200 stones in, if you're saving, you're going all the way up to whatever LR comes after this celebration for, or whatever the part 2 LR is for the next celebration is most likely to be on here. If not, it'll go up to, I think, who was before this? Who was the part 2 LR? Oh, it'll go up to Fizz Goku Piccolo. Alright, so not bad. That's a pretty good pickup if it goes all the way up to that. It obviously won't have the worldwide celebration LRs on it, but it'll have the top legendary summons, the Kaioken Goku, and the Fizz Goku Piccolo on here. So that's a pretty good deal, right? Following that, we are likely to see this step, right? If we back up a step, basically everything on the banner since AGL Gohan from last year, right? So everything all the way up to Fizz Raditz is likely to be on this banner. So that's pretty darn good if you ask me. Possibly even, if we're lucky, they might throw on this Dokkan Festival that we're currently in right now with the Tech Pan. So if you didn't pick Tech Pan up this month, it's possible she could be on the step-ups if we follow this trend, right? So pretty exciting and darn well worth your stones. So if you are someone who is low to play or free to play, I highly, 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 highly recommend you save whatever stones are coming your way for this banner right here. It is going to be the most value for your stones you're going to get. There are going to be some pretty powerful stuff between now and then. There's going to be the Gammas. We know they're coming. Whether they come with a Dokkan Festival exclusive remains to be seen. But we've got that. We've got the Vegeta and Trunks, who are returning in March. I want to remind you. We have the Int Dokkan Festival, Goku and the Exchange Vegeta, and then we have Dragon Ball Heroes. So there's a lot of good stuff coming your way. If any of those interest you, I highly recommend you budget your stones. Spend enough stones that you can still try for what you want, but you leave yourself with a minimum of 200 stones, possibly more, to do your step-up summons, because again, it is the highest value for your stones. Now, if you're someone who doesn't, I just want to throw this out here, if you're someone who doesn't need anything from the step-ups this year, you've picked up everything this year, you don't really need dupes of anything on this banner, and the risk of pulling an LR you don't need is too great, then maybe step-ups isn't your bag. Following the step-ups, we should likely see, wrong one, where is it? We should likely see this banner in January, the Dokkan Festival Kid Goku. So know that that could be coming, and that may be worth your stones, and he is definitely a good unit, better than anything we've had so far. So if step-ups isn't your cup of tea, this could possibly interest you more, and it would definitely be worth more than some of the other summons coming our way, to include some of the yellow coin LRs. So anyways, guys, that's the video. That's my recommendation on how to budget your stones and save for the New Year's step up with everything coming our way between now and then. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, do you think I'm on with the likelihood of the banners coming up? Do you think it might be a little different? And what are your thoughts on the upcoming New Year's step up? Is it going to be worth it for you? Are you saving for something far greater? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.